What's going on YouTube? Azrael the One, back at you again. Still at the keyboard, still working my coding thing. So, how you guys been? I wanted to come back with another video because I felt there was something I really had to get off my chest with regards to black folks. And it's something I want to talk about called the power of choice. All too often I hear this term, well, this shit happens to us because of white supremacy. And I keep feeling that this is just a distractive argument. Because it seems to me that in every situation where there's so-called, quote-unquote, a racist issue occurring, what I really see is people not really dealing with the things as they are and exegetically leading themselves to a conclusion based on the evidence at hand. In other words, these motherfuckers will impose something that the facts aren't really showing. Now, do I submit to you that there are some racist policies that are affecting the black community? Absolutely. But this is what happens when your black ass votes Democrat every time. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. What I start to understand is, in black men, this pretty much is going to go straight to you. The issue I'm starting to notice, I'm starting to see, is that niggas do not make good choices. This is a fact. Let's look at the facts for what they are. Number one, let's start out with the 82% of black kids are born out of wedlock, and this is a very large number. The statistics have fluctuated anywhere between 72 and 84%. This is the biggest example of how black people in this situation do not make positive choices. You know as well as I do, and I speak from experience on this, that if you were not prepared to be a parent, if you weren't sure that you were going to be with this one individual to raise this child day in and day out, yet for some reason you decide to go up in this female and you decided to release your semen in her body and she comes back pregnant, now you're sitting here with baby mama drama, you're sitting here with baby father drama, you're sitting here with your kids dysfunctional as all get out, but you don't want to take responsibility for your own fuck up. See, this shit don't make no goddamn sense to me. And I speak from personal experience. It bothers me because you will blame every other instance in and of itself. You will blame white supremacy. And I've asked this question to some people before, and people have told me, well, it's white supremacy. And that's why this shit happens. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. So a white man told you to go lay up with this black bitch. Go get in her bed. Because we know your broke ass ain't got your own shit yet. You're still living at mama's house. You get up in this bed with this black woman. You lay down with this black female. You get up in her nappy dugout and you working it. You shaking her earth, breaking her box, making her scream your name. You nut in this female. She come back pregnant. I'm sorry, but what the fuck did a white man have to do with your black ass putting your dick in a blender? What the fuck did that how does that make sense? I'll wait. While you're waiting to give me that answer, I'm gonna tell you right off top, it doesn't. But Negroes do this kind of shit every fucking day. This is the kind of thinking they have. Another example. A young black brother was shot by a cop in the Midwest, Muskogee, I think it was. Now this young knucklehead went to a church with a gun, menacing people. I want you to let this sink in now. This Negro got accosted by a cop. The cop didn't do shit wrong. And this is a white cop, by the way. Talked to him real calm, was going to pat him down, try to get the shit sorted out and be on about his business. Get everybody about their way. This nigga takes the fuck off. Mind you, doesn't run for cover, runs to an open field, drops the burner, and then gets plugged with a couple of shots. He dies. And the first thing these Negro leagues these NAACPs. I'm surprised Al Sharpton wasn't all over this shit. Was you shouldn't have shot him. Well, what the fuck you think he was gonna do? Your black ass had a gun, you dropped the burner, you got shot. End of story. Why? Because your black ass stopped to pick up that gun, instantly making your punk ass a combatant. How did that cop know that you weren't going to turn around and shoot at him? Better him than me, that's what I say. But here's the point I'm trying to make with all this. You Negroes don't make solid decisions. We see that when you have your kids. We see that when you're out in the street. You get mad because you get locked up for selling weed. How about don't sell fucking weed? You get mad when your black ass is getting beat up by the cops or by other people because you run your mouth. How about you not run your fucking mouth? You get mad when people tell you the truth. Well, simply, if you don't like what's being said, the simplest and easiest thing to do would be to debunk the narrative by behaving in the very opposite way that people say you behave. But you niggas don't want to understand this. This is what you do. You turn around and you sit there and say, no, no, no. If white supremacy didn't exist, this wouldn't happen. Well, let me turn that argument into its head for you. If you dumbasses didn't carry yourselves in a way that's consistent with statistical findings, if you didn't carry yourself in a way that easily makes you the laughing stock of the world community, if you Negroes didn't sit around acting like black buffoons and actual dumbasses, then there would be nothing to talk about. I think it's very simple. It's simple logic. Let's apply the law of parsimony here. It's very simple. If you don't want people saying how you run around having a bunch of kids everywhere and don't take care of them, the simplest thing to do would either be A, not have a bunch of babies and not take care of them, or B, have babies and take care of them. But you niggas don't do that shit. So I don't understand why you get mad. I don't understand when motherfuckers talk about you not getting an education and not having a job. When if you went to school, you got an education, you got a job, you have money in your pocket, no one can say you're broke and you're out here hustling or you're forced to rap to play a sport. People talk shit about Chicago all the time, but you can't refute that answer. Why? Because if you made the proper choices and decisions, number one, you would be voting in politicians that absolutely will represent your issues. You would not back parties or individuals who will pay your black ass lip service in order to get your vote, but then say fuck you when they get into office. Case in point, Barack Hussein Obama. Granted, he has done some positive things in his presidency, and I'm going to be fair on that and say that he has. But guess what, black folk? Your black asses have voted him in 95% the second election and 98% the first election. And what did your black ass get for it? Not a goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing, but a bullshit initiative, which should have been the first thing he did on his first term. Once again, black people, poor decisions. You complain how a white man gets a nice, healthy start in life. Because you know why? That white man said, look, when I have kids, I'm going to make sure that he's set up so that he has all the advantage to go out there and make something of himself. Meanwhile, you having kids into a situation where, number one, your kids have nothing to go on, and number two, when you die, you leave them nothing. You can't get mad at a white person because he uses nepotism and he utilizes the system to his benefit. Another example, and let's not just say it's somebody white, let's say it's the Asian community. I have gone to several Chinese and Korean communities, and I have seen where the Chinese or the Koreans, they will network with each other. They may not personally care for each other, but when you look at the actual race as a whole, you will see that, you know what? I want for myself to do better. I want for my brother's children to do better. So I'm going to invest in his children. I'm going to work hard on trying to develop my children into being better than I am. If I came to this country and labored and sweated and did all these things, guess what? My children are going to go to school and perform. They're going to be executives. They're going to own businesses. And guess what? It's the American dream. But your black ass is the only group of people. You're the only group of people in the world that expects a fucking handout. Everybody to feel sorry for you. I got news for you. The world doesn't owe you shit. Yes, slavery was a very horrible experience. And I get that. And you should never let anyone forget what the fuck happened to you. But you know what? Your punk asses are now making poor decisions and you want to ride the slavery crutch because your liberal white daddy feels it's just another way to keep you in control. You know that system of control that you so-called pro-blacks love to quote the Matrix for? That. Another example would be the Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews. Let's be real. They were taken almost to the brink of extermination. 6 million and counting. But you know what these Jews don't do? They don't make excuses. They handle their business. They get out there, they run their businesses, self-contained units, and they know how to manage their money. Can I hate that man for doing that? Absolutely not. And let's be real. Let's be honestly real. If somebody black came in and converted to being a Jew, guess what? They enjoy the same privileges. It happens. I've seen several black Jews in my neighborhood where they come from very well. They turn out to be from on the bottom and they learn how to get up. And they come up with some money. That's the facts. Now, let me return to my original point. You niggas make poor decisions. And then you get mad when somebody calls you on your shit. This is the problem with y'all. Y'all are just butthurt because you don't want to face the fucking music. And it's time that you niggas face the music. Because the way it's going is that there's clearly becoming a divide in the black community. You have all these people who want to wear the tinfoil hat and be conspiracy theorists here on the left, and on the right are the Negroes that are thinking for themselves, who are not trying to say, well, it's the white man's fault for my fuck-ups. It's the white man's fault for this. It's the white man's fault for that. Nigga, I got news for you. It ain't nobody's fault but your black ass. If you live in the fucking hood, run down, full of drug dealers, gangbangers, and prostitutes, and your black ass ain't doing something about it, or you ain't trying to get the fuck up out of there, guess what, nigga? It's your fault. If you are out there fucking these bitches, or you out there fucking these niggas, and you ain't protecting yourself, you're not wearing condoms, you're not using birth control, and I'm going to caveat this point because I personally cannot condone it on basis of religious belief. That's your own damn fault. And speaking of religious beliefs, if your black ass are going into these mega churches and with these charismatic preachers, and your black ass is putting money in these churches, and these preachers are fucking you in more ways than one, that's your own fault. Now, I have nothing against people's religious beliefs. And in fact, I carry some belief myself. But I can say I know when I give my money into the Catholic collection plate, I know where my money is going. Because I see that the money goes to the Catholic school that's being provided to the community. I see that the actual church repairs are being done. I actually see that people are going to provide for the ministry abroad. I see people getting clothes for the homeless. I see food being bought to be distributed to the homeless. This is where I know where my money is going. Nah, but y'all don't want to hear about that. Because you know what? I'm just Cooney, right? I'm licking white people's ass cracks clean. Let's just say bottom line up front. If you people made better choices for yourselves, your situation wouldn't be half as bad. If you people decided today, I'm going to want better for myself, you would actually start to see real progress. Funny how we always made fun of the Mexicans and how they were all these stereotypical things. Yet, for example, in New York City, I have watched a community that used to be black become Hispanic. I have watched politicians that weren't doing shit in those communities get ousted, and now they're community representatives in there making headway for them. And I see this all the time. John Liu, a New York City Chamberman, I can't remember the express term, goes to bat for the Asian community and represents them and does his job. But I can't get Charles Rangel really to come out here and help fight gentrification. Just saying. You Negroes have got to understand something. When you make excuses for everything, eventually nobody takes you serious. I can sit here and tell you straight off the top, despite me making some headway and a lot of shit, I'm an ain't shit dude. Because you know what? I got a lot of issues with me. And I can admit to that. I can be real. But see, that's the honest thing about it. I'm readily able to tell you the truth about myself. So now that I expose the truth about myself, I can easily start beginning to rectify that. And until you Negroes understand that shit, you ain't gonna never be where you want to be.